Welcome to the Midas News podcast today. We have the pleasure of speaking with Mr. Yeo Siang Tiong. He's the General Manager for Southeast Asia at Kaspersky. How are you today, Siang Tiong? And where are you speaking from?
I'm still working from home most of the time, I would say. But in Singapore, it's relatively safer. So we have the option of coming to the office. And today I'm actually taking this recording from office.
Perfect. So last time we were talking about the dangers of online threats for kids, and you painted the situation in great detail for us. What would you say parents should look out for the most, and what steps can they take to prevent these online threats from happening, especially with parents that have zero knowledge of technology? How can they learn how to best protect their kids?
Okay, so first of all, I think the bond between the parent and the kids is actually the most important thing that we need to have. Without this bond, there can be no communication. Without this bond, there cannot be any trust that can be built upon. So having the bond is important. Stay close to the kids. That's the first thing. And then building on this bond, we can have the communications, we can have the rules, and the conversations. Right? So awareness is something that we need to spread. So as parents, it is our duty to read up more about the threats online. Without fear-mongering, we should also then educate our children what are the best practices. Right? So a few things, like for example, we need to have that communication with the kids, and depending on age, we may want to enforce certain rules. Rules like the time that they can spend on the internet. Rules like what are the websites they can access. Rules like when they can use their devices to log online, when should be school activities online, and when should be off-school activities online. These are rules that we can set with our kids. Then, of course, having set the rules, enforcing it in a way that it is not overbearing to the kids is also important, and that's when it's back to our communications and the bond with the children. And last of all, a safety net in the form of some software that can help you enforce the rules, and at the same time stop some of the activities that the children may invariably get into.
How about threats coming perhaps from your children's friends? I mean, that can also be right. That one device could infect another, or friends of friends of friends can become a danger. How can parents monitor this? And I'm not a parent myself, so thank goodness I have no devices to set for my dogs, making my life much easier. But how can parents do it, and how easy is it to use Kaspersky Safe Kids?
Okay, so Kaspersky Safe Kids is a software that parental control software that can help the parents enforce some of the rules that I explained earlier on, like enforcing the time that they can use the internet, enforcing what are the categories of websites they can go into. It can also block the malicious website, so that if the kids were to mistakenly invariably get into websites that they shouldn't be getting into, it can block. Now, how do we stop the kids from getting into malicious websites? Now, there's a lot of social phishing and social engineering that's happening out there by the cyber criminals. And yes, we can get such from their friends. right? And the friends may just be a victim of all this. So therefore, that awareness uh, and and that vigilance needs to be built into the kids, and that's the communication that I've been talking about, right, just now. First, we ourselves as parents, we need to understand what are the dangers that's lurking out there, and through our communication, the kids spread the awareness so that they are vigilant about it. And then last of all, a software like our Kaspersky Safe Kit will be able to stop it or help you enforce some of the rules.
That's so important to do. I totally agree with you. And I think one of the key areas here is also to explain it properly to your kids so that they feel that it's not, like you trying to rule their lives, but it's more like a protection and something that allows them to play more. So that will be all for today's podcast, and we will have a last session with you in a few days. Thank you so much for your participation, Siang Tiong.
My pleasure. Thank you, Corinne. Have a good day ahead.